When people hear about building an online store, they usually imagine this big, complicated process, but in reality, it's not. You don't need to be a designer or a coder. What you actually need is clarity. Just follow the right steps and a bit of patience. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how to build a clothing brand store on Shopify from scratch in 2025. Whether you're selling merch, print on demand, whether you have a streetwear brand, it doesn't matter. This applies to every kind of store you want to build. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how Shopify works and how to build a store that's ready to sell. So yeah, let's get started. First of all, we have to log into Shopify. You probably have an account already. If you don't have one, you can click the link in the description of this video where you can get Shopify for just $1 for the first 3 months. After that, just click on start and it will take you to the main Shopify dashboard. Now, as you can see on the left side, you have pretty much everything: orders, products, customers, analytics, marketing, discounts, we have apps, and at the very bottom, settings. So this is basically the control center of your store. You know, at first it might look like a lot, but you don't have to worry about everything. First, let's actually start with the most essential part, which is uploading our products. Since we are building a clothing brand, I'm going to add a piece of clothing so you can actually understand how to set up properly, how to add your product, how to add, sizes, how to add colors, and all the basic things you'll be doing a lot. So let's click right here on products, then add product, and it's going to take you to this page. And at the top, we got the title field. This is simply the name of your product. Keep it clean, short, and easy to read. I recommend not having a very long title. I think 5 or 6 words, are enough. Now, right under that, we have the description, right? This is where you describe your product. Normally, you would think that you'll add fabric, fit, sizing, material, care instructions, like everything right here. Anything important that helps, someone understand what they're buying. But let me explain something. Let's say you're adding all of this, right? You'll end up with a giant block of text, which is going to look ugly, right? And nobody's going to read that. So what I recommend is packing all that information, such as fabric, material, care instructions, or things like this, into collapsible rows. And I'm going to show you that later on. Now, for the product description, I recommend adding just a small description about your product, and that's all. Like pretty much everything else can go in different sections. It's just the way you display information, right? You can do however you want, but I think that's the best way. Next is the media section. Here's where you upload your product photos or videos. Now, for clothing, this is one of the most important parts. I always say that good product photography is a major advantage, right? So make sure you have lifestyle images, backside images, front side images, all kind of different type of images. Someone wearing the piece of clothing is very important. The better your visuals, the more trust you build, right? Now, moving on, we have the collections part. This is where it gets interesting. When you finish adding your product, let's say you can also link it to a collection or even create a new one on the spot. So let me show you quickly how that works. If I click here on add new collections, it will take me to the collection creation page. So here you can give the collection a name. You can add a short description if you want. You can pretty much do whatever you want. You can choose manual if you want to add products one by one, or smart if you want, Shopify to automatically add products that match specific conditions. Once you finish setting up the collection, hit save, and it's pretty much done, right? Moving on, under price, this is where you set how much the product costs. Obviously, if you want to show a discount, you can use this compare at price. For example, we can set the regular price at $40 and the sale price at $29. Shopify will show this discount automatically for us. Then we got inventory. Here you set how many units you have. If you're tracking stock, you can just type in the quantity. You can also add SKU or barcode if needed. This will update automatically as people place orders. Also, if you're doing print on demand or drop shipping, you can just leave this empty as it is. Next, we got shipping. If it's a physical product, make sure the shipping toggle is on. Enter the product weight so Shopify can, calculate shipping properly at checkout. We're going to go into shipping later on as well. Below that, we have a variant. This is where you add size or color options. If we click add options and, for example, write size, then add, S, M, L, XL. You can also add another option for color. You can add black, white, gray, whatever fits your, product. Shopify will automatically create these variants for you so your customers can choose their size or colors when buying. Now, on the right side, we can set the status to active, so it's visible. Make sure online store is selected in publishing. Vendor can be your brand name, or you can leave it as it is. You can leave it empty. Tags are optional, so you can leave that empty. Once everything is done, just hit save. And as you can see, I've just linked this product to a collection, which makes everything organized. and I added all of the product information, right? And that's pretty much all for adding a product. It's really not that hard. Like once you do it 2 or 3 times, it becomes second nature. Now, don't forget to save it. And now we can move on to the next steps. We'll adjust some basic store settings before going into anything else. So let's go to settings right here in the left side. And I like to start with the checkout. And here you'll see a box called require customers to sign into their account before checkout, right? Make sure this box is unchecked. This allows people to buy without being forced to create an account. And that one setting alone can make a big difference in how many people, finish their checkout. So just keep everything else here simple. Contact by email, phone number optional, and that's all. Now let's go back to the payments tab. This is where you set up your payments processing for the store. You can use Shopify payments or PayPal. If Shopify payments is available in your country, it's probably the easiest way to start. Pretty easy. It would take you something like 5 minutes. And then you're going to be ready to accept payments. And that's pretty much all here. Now, after that, go to shipping and delivery. This part is more important than most beginners realize. Like if shipping isn't set up right, check out what even work. You'll see your general shipping profile. And this is basically your default setup. So if we start by checking, the fulfillment location, which is basically where your products are shipping from. If you're shipping from home or a warehouse, just make sure that address is correct. Then we can look at the shipping zone, in which, a zone is just the area where your shipping rates apply basically. So by default, Shopify creates one for your country, which is domestic, and one for international. You can edit, you can, remove, you can create new zones if you want. And let's say if I click on this one inside each zone, you can set your shipping rates. So for example, for this, I can add $6 shipping for my country, and then I can do like $10, for example, for international orders, or whatever I want. You can edit this however you want. You can name your rates, and you can also add estimated delivery times later. Once shipping is done, let's go to the general store settings. Here you set your store name, your brand name. So just put your business name, business address, and the main currency of your store. Getting this right from the start saves a lot of problems later. So yeah, now let's go to billing. And as I said, Shopify gives you a free trial. And if you click the link in the description down below, it will take you to a page where you can get Shopify for $1 for the first 3 months. So you not pay full price from the beginning. You can pick your plan later. I recommend going with the basic one, and later you can upgrade if you want. Now let's go to taxes. Now right here, Shopify automatically calculates most taxes based on your location, and but make sure to double check it, right? And the rest you can leave everything as it is. Finally, we have the legal section, the policies. Here you can set your refund, return, privacy, terms of service, shipping policy. Shopify makes this very easy, I would say. You can click each one and generate a basic template with a single click. Then you can just update it with your own information, such as email and business name. And once saved, they will automatically show up in the footer or in your checkout page, which is so important for your customers, because I can't imagine a store without policies. These are so detrimental, are so important. So, just make sure to set those up. Now, let's move on to see how our store actually looks. So go to online store, and here you see your active theme. By default, Shopify installs Horizon, which is their free starter theme. Right next to it, you have the customize button. This is where you can start editing your store. And on this page, you can also add or switch themes. You can upload a new one, import a premium theme if you want more flexibility. So for now, let's click on customize to show you how Shopify themes work. And once you click it, you'll land inside the theme editor. This is basically the theme editor, which is basically your design dashboard, right? This is what controls what your customers see when they visit your store, basically. So everything on this page is made up of sections and blocks. And the best part is that you don't need to code anything to make changes. Like on the left side, you'll see all the sections that make up your homepage. Things like we got header with hero banner, the product grid, multiple sections, collections, and also the footer. So you can open every one of them, let's say, to change, the settings. You can, adjust the spacing, the size, the colors, pretty much everything. We can play with everything. You can move the sections around. You can hide them. And as you can see, there are multiple sections, right? You can add to the page. If I click right here, there's this little plus icon, this blue plus icon. And if you click it, you can add as many sections as you want. And this is how you basically build your store. You just add elements, you just add sections, and just arrange them however you want. Now, On the right side, you got a live preview of your store. This is a switcher. So every change you make on the left updates instantly here. So you can see exactly how your store looks, will look to your customers. Let's start at the top with the header. Now, this is where you got your logo and navigation menu, which is one of the most important parts of your store. Like here, people are going to look for links to navigate your website basically, right? So if I click here on the theme settings and click here on logo, you can simply upload your brand logo. Right here, I can change its size however I want. I can also adjust the alignment. And now here, we can also see this, we have this, fav icon, which is basically that icon that shows up in the browser tab. So it's basically a smaller version of your logo. You can create one in Canva or whatever software you want. We can click right here to upload our own fav icon if we want. Now, moving on, you can also manage your main navigation links in the header section. So let me show you real quick how to set up your navigation menus. So if I click here on edit, here you have your main menu. You'll see the default menu links are like home, maybe contact, shop, things like that. So from here, you can add new menu items. So if I click here, for example, you can create links like, I don't know, let's say, for example, shop, men, women, bestsellers. This can link directly to collections, specific products or even specific pages that you want. So I'm going to add, for example, products, then select where you want that link to point. So basically, where do you want your products to link? And we're going to link this to all collections. Okay. And what's nice is that you can also create submenus inside those, main menu items. For example, under products, we can have submenus like t-shirts, pants, socks, whatever categories you have if you want. So I can create, t-shirts. And if I simply drag this, I can position it right under the products. And that way I created a submenu, which is basically the menu, and then the menu has a submenu. It's so simple. Like once you edit this and you are done with your menu links, just hit save. Now when we go back to the theme editor, let's go back and you will see those new menu items automatically showing up in your header section. You can also set up your footer menu the same way, but I'm going to show you that later on. Now, next is the hero banner. This is the big section at the top of your homepage. For clothing brands, this is also a very important section because it's usually the first thing people see. So here you can add a lifestyle image or a campaign photo. You can add a headline that fits your brand, that describes your product. If you want, you can add a call to action button, as you see here, like shop now or view collection. We can name this however you want. You can also add multiple slides if you want, but just keep it simple for now. You're just getting the basics. You can, create a template inside Canva, right? Upload it right here. Now, scrolling down, you'll see the feature collections or product grids, and this is where your actual products and collections show up. Now, if you created a collection earlier, like we did, you can select it here, and Shopify will automatically display the products inside that collection. This is why organizing your products earlier matters, because it makes setting up the front end super easy, I would say. So your products can display here. Now, moving on, at the very bottom is the footer. This is where you can add your contact info, social media links, and quick links like your policy pages, refund shipping, terms of service, privacy. Moving on, here we have the theme settings tab. Here we can adjust the colors of our theme, typography, buttons, and layout. And also don't forget to check both desktop and mobile views while you are editing your store. This is so important, right? Like most of your visitors will shop from their phones, so you want your store to look just as clean and functional on mobile as it does on desktop. But first I will focus on, making the website look good on mobile and then probably on desktop, because the majority of people, especially if you're doing direct to consumer, most of your traffic will come from mobile devices. Now, moving on up here, we can see our navigation inside the editor. From here, we can basically switch to edit any part of the website, like a homepage, the product page, collections, card, checkout, literally everything. So let's actually go to the product page, which is one of the most important parts of the store. Here on the product page, everything is built with sections and blocks, all right? So just like on the homepage, you got your basic product info like title, price, description, media, and the buy button. And of course, just like before, you can hit this little plus icon and add as many extra, sections or blocks as you want. But you'll notice something fast. The default product page inside Horizon looks a little bit simple. Now, let's say we compare this product page to a page design with Materia. the difference is huge, right? For a clothing brand, the product page is everything, right? Is where people decide if they trust your brand enough to buy. Like if it looks clean, detailed, and professional, your chances are converting are way higher. Horizon is still great for starting out if you're new to Shopify, but when it comes to clothing brands or anything that is branded, it's pretty bad, I would say. But if you want a store that actually looks premium, loads fast, and gives you more flexibility without paying $300 for some random Shopify theme, what I recommend using, it's called Materia. It's one of the best Shopify themes at this moment. You know, it's a game changer, and the craziest part is that you can try it for just $1. You can install Materia directly into your Shopify store, and you're not just getting one template, you're getting multiple templates for different niches. So whether you're into dropshipping, whether you're a clothing brand, a supplement brand, you can find something for you. For this tutorial, I'm going to use this fashion template, which is perfect for streetwear. But if you're doing general fashion, gadget, fitness, you know, whatever, there are already made templates for those as well. You can just go to our website and find something. Now, when you open it up, if you click right here on customize, it comes packed with over 70 high conversion sections and features that lets you design pretty much, you know, everything however you want. And now I'm not going to go into all of the stuff here because it's so much. It would take me so much to show you everything. But what makes this powerful is how easy it is to drag and drop everything. Like you can just replace the demo images with your actual product images, with your actual content. You can completely redesign the layout without breaking anything. You know, the design potential is basically unlimited using Materia. Now, let's break it down to see what I mean, right? Let's break down the homepage a bit. This template is already clean starting point. Like, as you can see, all the sections are arranged nicely from the beginning, but of course, you can always delete what you want, what you don't need. You can add new sections. You can pretty much customize it however you want. So let's start right at the top. You got this slideshow hero section. And this is basically the first thing people see when they land on your store. You can add a video background. You know, you can replace this. You can add image banners if you want. Something like a seasonal offer. You can add some lifestyle shootings. You can replace this with whatever you want. Now, scrolling down, you can see the feature collections. Here we can guide our customers to different collections. And as we did earlier with creating our collection, we can assign that collection here as well. So if someone lands on your website, you want to make it that simple for them to find what they want in just a few clicks. Then we got this product section. Basically here, as you can see, you can display products from different collections. So it's showing the products from whichever collection you add, basically. You can see how clean the product card looks if I hover it. And compared to other themes, everything here is way cleaner. Then we have this countdown timer, which is, you know, with this cool background image, which looks pretty cool. It looks pretty clean. And also this really cool collection grid section, more products. And we also got the Instagram section. I love this wall section. This is gold for clothing brands, I would say. Like, social proof isn't just about testimonials, it's about showing real people, you know, using products, real energy. Then we have this newsletter block right under it, and it's another key piece. Even if someone doesn't buy it right away, getting their email is how you bring them back later with offer or drops if you're doing something like email marketing. So never forget to add this section. And then at the bottom, we got the footer, which, you know, as you can see, is already clean, is organized. And now let's jump over to the product page up here, because this is really crazy. Like, if you click on products and open it up, you can see how clean the page looks, you know, comparing this to what we did previously in Horizon. Like, on the product page, everything is made out of the blocks, basically. Like, the product information section is made out of blocks, and think of them as the building pieces of your product page, right? Materia gives you way more blocks to work with, and I think there are around 20 plus blocks, which means you can customize the page way beyond the standard layout. You can add trust badges, you can add benefits icons, you can add collapsible sections for shipping info or returns. You can add so many things, right? It's so cool, and that's something most free teams can give you. So that's why I always recommend using Materia. The difference is massive. Like, right, Horizon is good for starting out, but this gives your product page the kind of structure that, you know, helps people actually trust you and buy from you. And after that, don't forget the other important pages. Let's not forget the other important pages, such as the contact page and the about page. Like, the templates are already created, but all you have to do is create the pages and assign those pages to those templates, basically. So let me show you real quick. Just go to online store, then pages, click add, and give it a name. For example, I'm going to call this about us. Let's say we're going to create an about us page, and I'm going to assign this to the about us template. Make sure it's visible. and click save. We basically do the same thing for the other page. So for the contact page, for example, we're going to create a page, name it contact, and assign this to the contact template. This is so important. Make sure it's visible, and that's pretty much all. Now, if we go back up right here, we can see the page. We can edit it. We can replace all of it with our actual content, with our own images. We can change the text. We can change everything, right? The structure is already created. The templates are already created, which gives you a great starting point, which is pretty cool. And also, let me show you how you can add a size chart. Let's go back to the product page and show you how we can add a size chart, because this is so important, especially if you're a clothing brand. Basically, the size chart needs to be a page with a table, right? So what we're going to do here is create a page, call it size chart. And right here, you see this code icon. And right here, we need to add our table HTML code. It's basically the code of the table. And I already have it, so I'll just paste it in. Okay, and now you can just see that we can edit the size table with the actual information, right? We can just replace all the values with our own information. If you want the exact table code, you can just click the link in the description of this video and you can download it for free. Now, if we go back to the product page, you'll see that for the size chart block, we need to assign a page basically. So we are going to assign the page that we just created basically. So this way, as you can see, the sizing chart is added, and that's pretty much everything. All right, so quick recap. We cover how to add products, how to add collections, add the essential store settings, customize the theme, build the homepage, product page, navigation menus, footer, contact page, and even set up our size chart. Now there are just a couple of more steps before your store goes live. First up, let's actually connect your domain. Now, as you can see, Shopify gives you a myshopify.com link by default, but you want a real domain, you want a .com or a .net domain, because it looks way more professional and builds trust. So go to settings, domains, and you can buy it through Shopify or connect your own domain if you want. Personally, I prefer using Hostinger. I always say about Hostinger, since you can get a .com domain for as cheap as possible. Just follow the steps they give you and just connect your domain. It takes like less than 5 minutes, I think. So next, double check your shipping and taxes. Make sure everything is correct there. For example, if you're offering free shipping, make sure it's clear on your store. You can add different announcement bars or sections or pop-ups, to actually inform people that you're offering free shipping or any other shipping that you're offering. And that's basically all you need to launch. If you follow everything step by step, your store is now ready to sell. And once you've done this once, everything becomes way easier. You can get into more advanced stuff in Shopify, but that's pretty much all you need in the first place. If this tutorial helped you, make sure to subscribe to this channel. Make sure to leave a like, leave a comment. I'll be dropping more videos about Shopify, about e-commerce. And if you want to build cool Shopify stores, make sure to try Materia. It's just $1. You can test it almost for free. You are going to get all these features, layouts, and everything. So, make sure to check the link in the description of this video. Thank you so much for watching this video, and see you in the next one. Peace.